I think what we're going to see is a rollback of the DOL fiduciary rule. And what that means is there will be hundreds of thousands of low and moderate income savers who will actually be able to keep their financial advisor. So to some extent, the promise of Dodd-Frank was if you like your financial advisor, you can keep them. That wasn't true, not with this DOL fiduciary rule. I want to thank Ann Wagner of Missouri, who's been the champion on our committee to make sure that, again, low and moderate income savers can have plans to give them secure retirement. And so what I expect to see out of the Trump administration is to send that back to the Department of Labor. Frankly, it never belonged there in the first place. We hope to never see it again. This should have been within the purview of the Securities and Exchange Commission. But ultimately, what this rule would mean is it would end a business model that helps low and moderate income people. The UK tried something like the Obama administration did, and frankly, they had to go back to the drawing board because they called it the advice gap, and all of a sudden, people lost their ability to access professional advice. This is one more Washington top-down driven elitist rule that hurts people on Main Street. So I'm just saying, oh, happy day. I'm looking forward to the announcement.
Oh, happy day for the chairman of the House Financial Services Committee. Another element that I'm hearing is that he will instruct the Treasury Department to put a freeze on new financial regulatory issues, paving the way for the Financial Choice Act as well as legislation in Congress to repeal aspects of Dodd-Frank.
Well, exactly. I've had the occasion to meet with the president and the vice president and the nominee for Secretary of Treasury, who should have already been confirmed by now. We certainly share the same goals. I think there is broad agreement on many of the aspects of the Financial Choice Act, which we will reintroduce in this Congress very, very soon. And so I look forward to working with the administration. They know that Dodd-Frank is clogging the arteries of capital, that it's hurting small business, that it's hurting consumers, and it's one of the great reasons we don't have a healthy economy.
And very soon, meaning this spring, for a timetable for that passage from the House at least?
Well, as far as our committee action, we're looking closer to a matter of weeks as opposed to months with respect to the action of the full House of Representatives. I would hope late spring or early summer.
So weeks. So we could see hearings on Choice Act 2.0 in the next couple of weeks.
Very soon, very soon.
And then also, in terms of working with the administration, you said that you have the same goals, but are there any differences, particularly on some of the other financial regulatory matters pertaining to SIFI designation or capital requirements? Who is your point person in the administration on that, and how will you work with them in order to make sure that there's a cohesive plan?
Well, I look forward to working with Secretary Mnuchin, but unfortunately there's not a Secretary Mnuchin yet. Because Democrats are trying to drag their feet, something that, they would have been shocked and aghast had Republicans done to Obama. Clearly, they don't want to see the Trump administration succeed. So I have dealt with the National Economic Council, Gary Cohen. I've had a number of conversations with the vice president, who is a good friend of mine, who we served in the House with. So, again, I haven't really found any major area of disagreement with the administration, but obviously they haven't had the opportunity to fill out their economic team. But at the end of the day, I think they share the goal that we want economic opportunity for all. We want a healthy economy for all. We want bailouts for none. They don't believe in Wall Street bailouts either.
And what about with the chairman of the Senate Banking Committee, Mike Crapo? The Senate has traditionally moved slower in terms.
I've noticed.
But have you had conversations with him, and how is that going to work? Because, as you know, the Senate is not as conservative as the House.
Well, Mike is also a friend. We work very well together. We've had a number of meetings to talk about our strategy and our approach, but clearly he has challenges in the Senate with their 60-vote threshold on most matters that we don't have in the House. So I think the House will probably move a little quicker and probably move a little bolder. And at some point, we will go and deal with whatever the Senate work product will be. But I know that Senator Crapo, Chairman Crapo, shares many of the same goals that we have. and getting the economy working again for working people, returning us to a healthy economy. Democrats still can't figure out why they lost. Well, they lost because they frankly never focused on jobs in the economy, and the American people are focused on that.